Okay, Miguelio, I thought I was going to say Miguelito, but it's Miguelio, says, why did God endorse levirate marriage? Isn't it wrong to pressure a man to marry someone he doesn't want to? And since marriage will supposedly end in heaven, is love not a factor for God? Okay, let's tackle these questions. First, let me explain what levy rate marriage is for y'all to know. Levy rate marriage is the idea that when this is in the Old Testament, it's in the law of the Old Testament, and this is actually in other cultures as well. But if, let's say I have a brother, a younger brother, and I get married and I die, but I haven't had any kids, according to the Old Testament law, my younger brother is now going to marry my spouse. Now I'm dead, so that marriage is broken, that marriage is over. But he's going to marry my spouse, and there's a specific reason for this in the Old Testament law. He's going to take the firstborn from that marriage, and raise them in my name. This is so that they can inherit the land that would have come to me and carry on the family name. Now, if you start to think about the Old Testament, you realize how important land is, because it's part of the promise of God to Israel. I give you this land to you and your descendants after you. And it was important when they entered the land, they allotted the land. This tribe is over here, this tribe's over here, this tribe's over here. So if you're in this tribe and you're over here, you get this piece of land. And if you even sell it, you can't sell it. You can lease it out. And after like 50 years, it comes back to you, because we got to keep the land in the family because it's connected to God's promises and prophecies. So these issues are bigger than your marriage. That's what I want to say first for you, Don, is these issues are bigger than your marriage. Because, and this is where we get our Disney version of marriage. Like the Disney version of marriage is about pleasing me, primarily about pleasing me, about making me happy, and about making me fulfilled by taking this other puzzle piece, this other person, and I plug them into me, and then I am fulfilled now. There are elements of truth in that, but it's too much self. It's if that's all marriage is to me, that's too much self-focus, and this leads to divorce. Because what happens is I plug this puzzle piece into me and I go, you got rough edges. I got rough edges. There's problems I didn't even know about you. I didn't know that thing about you. You act this way, you do that way. I'm getting kind of sick of you. Trying to remember what I liked about you. Look, you don't even look the same anymore. After a few years. And so all these things happen, and you start to realize that what got you married was selfish desires. And that's what got you divorced too, selfish desires. This is the Disney version of marriage, touts love, not, this is hugely important, I think. The Disney version of marriage touts love, but with a different definition than the biblical one. They tout love as my incredible feelings and sensations and the fulfillment I get from them when I get to have that person who I love. Whereas in Scripture, the emphasis in love is this idea of giving self-sacrificially to others. Love is pointed outward, not inward. Love isn't feelings I get that I want to satisfy. Love is actions I take to bless and help others for their sakes. Now, if you think of love like that, right, then you say, is not love a factor for God? Well, of course, love is a factor for God. Love your spouse. Not just marry the one you love the one you marry. I know this is counterculture. I know this sounds like crazy talk to so many people, but I'll tell you this, our modern culture and attitude towards love, we think we really get it, but our divorce rates are skyrocketing and the health of our marriages is tanking. And it may be because what is modern in our thinking on these issues is actually wrong in some ways, at least in some ways, not 100% wrong in every aspect, but in some important ways. So yeah, levirate marriage, we're not under it today, right? You can marry whoever you want in the Lord, Scripture says, so they should be a Christian. If you marry someone who's not a Christian, guess what you should do? Stay married, love them, make the best of that marriage, honor God in it. But yeah, why did God endorse levirate marriage? For the sake of prophecy, the land, the fulfillment of all that God is doing through Israel to carry on that name of Abraham throughout the land of Israel, so that ultimately will lead us to the Messiah and show the faithfulness of God, that the nation who does choose him, which is Israel here I'm talking about, who he chooses, who follows him, that he will fulfill his promises and bless them. Like these are big world God issues that are bigger than your marriage. Your marriage is not the most important thing in the world. what your marriage is about something that's even more important in this case. So marriage will supposedly end in heaven. Yeah, that's true. There will be no marrying. We won't bring our marriages into heaven, and we won't marry people in heaven. I think that we'll probably be closer, not further apart, at least as far as relationships go. But yeah, I guess it's another question we could talk about there. Isn't it wrong to pressure a man to marry someone he doesn't want to? No. Nope. That was the other part of your question. Is it wrong to marry to pressure a man? Nope. I've done that many times. You've been with that girl for 3 years. You got 2 kids. Get married. What's wrong with you? Well, I don't want to. Well, I'm pressuring you. You should get married. You coward. Right? And it is cowardice. Because when you say, why won't you get married? Oh, because, what if she leaves me? Okay, so you're scared. Oh, because what if I decide I want to get out of town? Okay, so you're scared to commit. You're selfish and scared to commit. I get it. Like, it ends up being those same issues. Yep. I say some stuff.